La sirena de emergencia resonó por todo el palacio cristalino de Sefiria cuando la reina Silara recibió la noticia más devastadora de su reino. Sus nietas, las princesas gemelas Lyra y Nova, habían desaparecido sin dejar rastro durante la noche galáctica. El comandante de la Guardia Real, Corben, se acercó con pasos pesados hacia el trono flotante donde la majestuosa soberana esperaba respuestas. Las cámaras de seguridad habían captado. Un humano, de todos los seres del universo, había estado en los jardines reales justo antes de la desaparición. Los sensores biométricos identificaron al intruso como Jake Morrison, un explorador terrestre que había llegado al planeta hacía 3 rotaciones solares como parte de una misión diplomática. La princesa Sara, madre de las gemelas y heredera al trono, irrumpió en la sala del consejo con lágrimas cristalinas, corriendo por sus mejillas azuladas. Sus hijas de 18 años galácticos habían mostrado una curiosidad peligrosa por las especies extranjeras, especialmente por los humanos que visitaban regularmente su mundo. Corben activó los hologramas de seguridad que mostraban las últimas horas antes de la desaparición. Las princesas habían estado caminando por los jardines de flores luminosas. El humano parecía estar hablando con ellas de manera amistosa, señalando hacia las estrellas mientras las jóvenes princesas lo escuchaban con fascinación. La reina Silara. Los humanos habían demostrado ser una especie impredecible y potencialmente peligrosa. Aunque las relaciones diplomáticas habían sido pacíficas, siempre existía la desconfianza hacia estos seres de emociones intensas y comportamientos erráticos. El último registro mostraba a las 3 figuras caminando hacia el puerto espacial real. Los guardias del perímetro habían encontrado evidencias de una nave pequeña que había despegado durante las primeras horas de la madrugada galáctica. La nave no había solicitado permiso de vuelo ni había registrado un plan de viaje oficial. El consejero principal Aldrin proyectó mapas estelares mostrando las posibles rutas que la nave podría haber tomado. Con el combustible estándar de una nave de exploración humana, Jake Morrison podría haber llegado a varios sistemas estelares cercanos, incluido el controvertido sector neutral, donde las leyes galácticas eran más flexibles. La princesa Zara golpeó la mesa de control con frustración. Sus hijas siempre habían sido aventureras, pero nunca habían desobedecido tan gravemente las reglas del protocolo real. La atracción hacia el humano debía haber sido muy fuerte para arriesgar el honor de toda la dinastía. Los sistemas de comunicación del palacio comenzaron a recibir mensajes de otros mundos aliados. La noticia de la desaparición se estaba extendiendo rápidamente por la galaxia, y algunos planetas ya expresaban su preocupación por las implicaciones políticas del incidente. La reina Silara tomó una decisión que cambiaría el curso de los eventos. Activó los protocolos de emergencia real y convocó a la flota de guerra más poderosa del reino. Si el humano Jake Morrison había secuestrado a sus nietas, enfrentaría la ira completa del Imperio Sefiriano. El comandante Corben recibió órdenes directas de preparar una expedición de rescate inmediata. Las naves de guerra más avanzadas serían desplegadas para rastrear la nave humana hasta los confines del universo conocido. Mientras las preparaciones militares se intensificaban, la reina Silara no podía dejar de preguntarse si sus nietas habían sido víctimas de un engaño o si habían participado voluntariamente en esta fuga desesperada hacia lo desconocido. El tiempo corría en contra ellos, y cada momento que pasaba alejaba más a las princesas de la seguridad de su hogar. La galaxia estaba a punto de presenciar una crisis que podría cambiar para siempre las relaciones entre humanos y alienígenas. La búsqueda había comenzado oficialmente. La comunicación intergaláctica se activó mientras las naves de guerra se preparaban para el lanzamiento inmediato hacia el espacio profundo, llevando consigo las esperanzas y temores de todo un reino. 2 horas después del amanecer de Sefiria, la flota real más imponente de la historia comenzó su persecución a través de las estrellas. La reina Silara había movilizado recursos militares que no se utilizaban desde las antiguas guerras galácticas, demostrando la gravedad absoluta de la situación. Los rastreadores más experimentados del reino fueron convocados urgentemente al Palacio Real. Estos especialistas en seguimiento interestelar tenían la capacidad de detectar firmas energéticas de naves específicas, incluso después de días de viaje espacial. El rastro de la nave de Jake Morrison aún era detectable, pero se desvanecía rápidamente con cada hora que pasaba. la princesa Sara se unió personalmente a la expedición de rescate, desafiando las protestas de los consejeros reales que consideraban demasiado peligroso que la heredera al trono se aventurara en territorio potencialmente hostil. Su determinación maternal superaba cualquier consideración política o de seguridad personal. El sistema de comunicaciones del palacio interceptó transmisiones humanas provenientes de la Tierra. Las autoridades terrestres habían sido notificadas sobre la desaparición de Jake Morrison y expresaron su total cooperación con las autoridades sefirianas. Sin embargo, también revelaron información preocupante sobre el pasado del explorador humano. Jake Morrison había sido expulsado previamente de 2 misiones diplomáticas por comportamiento errático y desobediencia a las regulaciones intergalácticas. Su historial mostraba una tendencia hacia las acciones impulsivas y una fascinación problemática con las culturas alienígenas. Los archivos de la Tierra revelaron que Morrison había expresado públicamente su creencia de que las princesas alienígenas poseían poderes sobrenaturales que podrían beneficiar a la humanidad. Esta información alarmó profundamente a la reina Silara, quien comenzó a sospechar que las intenciones del humano podrían ser más siniestras de lo inicialmente pensado. La nave insignia de la flota sefiriana, comandada por el almirante Bex, detectó las primeras señales del rastro energético en el sector Omega 7. Las lecturas indicaban que la nave de Morrison había hecho una parada no programada en una estación espacial neutral, conocida por albergar comerciantes y contrabandistas de toda la galaxia. Los interrogatorios en la estación espacial revelaron que Jake Morrison había estado preguntando sobre rutas hacia sistemas estelares remotos, específicamente aquellos conocidos por tener mercados negros donde se comercializaban artefactos y conocimientos. Los testigos describieron que las princesas parecían confundidas y posiblemente bajo algún tipo de influencia mental. La sospecha de que Morrison había utilizado tecnología de control mental humana para manipular a las jóvenes princesas enfureció aún más a la reina Silara. Los humanos habían desarrollado dispositivos psíquicos experimentales que podían influir en las mentes menos desarrolladas de ciertas especies alienígenas, aunque su uso estaba estrictamente prohibido por los tratados galácticos. El rastro condujo a las fuerzas de rescate hacia el peligroso cinturón de asteroides sombríos, una región conocida por sus fenómenos espaciales impredecibles y la presencia de piratas intergalácticos. La decisión de Morrison de dirigirse hacia esta zona confirmó las peores sospechas sobre sus intenciones criminales. Las naves sefirianas se adentraron en el cinturón de asteroides con extrema precaución, utilizando sus escudos más poderosos para protegerse de los campos magnéticos erráticos y los fragmentos rocosos que flotaban caóticamente por el espacio. La búsqueda se había vuelto exponencialmente más peligrosa y compleja. The asteroid field stretched endlessly before the Sci-Fi rescue fleet, its dark rocks spinning chaotically through space like deadly dancers in a cosmic ballet. Queen Silara stood on the bridge of the flagship, her crystalline crown reflecting the distant starlight, as scanner readings flooded the command center with potential leads and false alarms. Admiral Bex coordinated search patterns across 12 different vectors, while Princess Sara monitored communication frequencies, desperately hoping to intercept any transmission from her daughters. The silence from the princesses was becoming more ominous with each passing hour, fueling fears that Jake Morrison had indeed used some form of human mind control technology. The first breakthrough came from Scout Ship 7, commanded by Captain Riley Brooks. Her vessel detected unusual energy signatures near a massive asteroid cluster that appeared to house a hidden facility. The reading suggested advanced technology that didn't match any known human or Cyprian designs, indicating the presence of a third party in this dangerous game. Jake Morrison's small exploration vessel was finally spotted docked at an illegal mining station carved deep into the largest asteroid. The facility operated outside galactic law, serving as a haven for smugglers, pirates, and worse criminals who preyed on interstellar travelers. The discovery that Morrison had brought the royal princesses to such a place sent waves of rage through the Sephirian fleet. Princess Sara demanded immediate action, but Admiral Bex urged caution. The asteroid station was heavily fortified with stolen military equipment from various worlds, and any direct assault could endanger the lives of Princesses Lyra and Nova. Intelligence reports indicated that the station's criminal inhabitants would not hesitate to use hostages as shields against attacking forces. A covert reconnaissance mission was launched using stealth technology that renders Safrian ships nearly invisible to most scanning systems. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Martinez led a team of elite soldiers trained specifically for hostage rescue operations in hostile environments. Their mission was to infiltrate the station and locate the princesses without triggering the station's defensive systems. The interior of the asteroid station revealed a maze of tunnels and chambers carved from living rock and reinforced with salvage metal plating. Criminal inhabitants from dozens of different species conducted illegal business in the shadows, trading everything from banned weapons to forbidden knowledge. The presence of so many dangerous individuals made the rescue operation exponentially more complex. Morrison's activities on the station became clearer as the reconnaissance team gathered intelligence. It had been attempting to sell access to the Sefrian princesses to various criminal organizations that specialize in exploiting alien royal for their unique biological properties. Several notorious crime bosses had already expressed interest in protection the princesses for their private collections. The discovery that Morrison intended to auction off the royal sisters as exotic prizes rather than hold them for ransom transformed the situation from a kidnapping into something far more sinister. Princess Sarah barely contained her fury when this information reached the flagship, and Queen Silara authorized the use of any necessary force to recover her granddaughters. Meanwhile, deep within the station's most secure section, Princesses Lyra and Nova were being held in a reinforced chamber designed to contain powerful alien beings. Morrison had used experimental human psionic dampeners to suppress their natural Sephirian abilities, leaving them vulnerable and confused about their situation. The sisters had begun to realize the true nature of their predicament as the effects of Morrison's initial mind control began to wear off. Lyra, the elder twin by mere minutes, managed to establish a weak telepathic connection with her sister despite the dampening field. Their royal training included emergency protocols for exactly this type of situation, though they had never imagined needing to use such knowledge in real life. The princesses began working together to gradually overcome the technological restraints imposed by their human captor. The criminal auction was scheduled to begin within hours, with representatives from some of the galaxy's most dangerous organizations already arriving at the station. Morrison had advertised the princesses as rare specimens with unique genetic properties that could potentially grant extended life or enhanced abilities to their eventual owners. The bidding was expected to reach astronomical figures. Captain Brooks detected increased traffic around the asteroid station as more criminal vessels arrived for the auction. The window for a covert rescue operation was rapidly closing, and Admirable Vex faced the difficult decision of whether to risk a direct assault that could result in the princesses' deaths or allow the auction to proceed while seeking alternative solutions. The Seferian infiltration team discovered that Morrison had partnered with a notorious crime lord known as Vincent Kane, whose organization specialized in trafficking rare alien individuals across the galaxy. Kane's reputation for ruthlessness meant that any rescue attempt would face extremely dangerous opposition from experienced criminals willing to kill to protect their investment. Queen Zillara received real-time updates from the infiltration team and made a decision that would demonstrate the true power of the Sefrian Empire. She authorized the deployment of experimental weapons that had been kept secret from the galactic community, devices capable of disabling entire space stations without causing permanent structural damage to their inhabitants. The rescue operation entered its most critical phase as multiple plans were executed simultaneously. While the main fleet prepared for a coordinated assault, the infiltration team worked to disable the station's defensive systems from within. Princess Sarah took command of a strike force specifically tasked with reaching her daughters before the criminals could react to the impending attack. Time was running out as the criminal auction approached its scheduled start time. The auction hall buzzed with anticipation as crime bosses from across the galaxy gathered around a holographic display platform where Princess Lyra and Nova would soon be presented to potential buyers. Vincent Kane, a scarred human with cybernetic enhancements covering half his face, checked his chronometer. while Jake Morrison nervously adjusted the control device that kept the princesses subdued. Morrison had convinced himself that he was providing a valuable service by introducing the galaxy's criminal underworld to Zephyrian royal genetics, but doubts crept into his mind as he observed the predatory expressions of the auction attendees. These were not the scientific researchers or cultural enthusiasts he had imagined, but ruthless individuals who viewed intelligent beings as commodities to be bought and sold. Kane's security forces patrolled the asteroid station with military precision, their weapons trained on every entrance and corridor that could provide access to the auction chamber. The crime lord had invested significant resources into this operation and would not tolerate any interference from law enforcement or rescue teams. Motion sensors and thermal scanners created overlapping fields of detection throughout the facility. Deep within their holding cell, Princess Lyra made a crucial discovery about the psionic dampening field that held them captive. The human technology was designed to suppress Zephyrian mental abilities, but it operated on frequencies that could be gradually overcome through concentrated meditation techniques taught to royal family members from childhood. Silent Team communicated this discovery to her sister Nova through subtle hand gestures. The Zephyrian Infiltration Team, led by Lieutenant Commander Sarah Martinez, had successfully penetrated the station's outer defenses and was moving through maintenance tunnels toward the auction chamber. Their advanced stealth suits rendered them invisible to most scanning systems, but the sheer number of criminal guards made detection increasingly likely with each passing minute. Admiral Bex coordinated the timing of multiple simultaneous operations from the flagship bridge. The main fleet would begin their assault precisely when the infiltration team reached the princesses, creating maximum confusion among the station's defenders while providing cover for the rescue operation. Every second had been calculated to maximize the chances of recovering the royal sisters alive. Morrison activated the platform controls, and Princess Lyra and Nova materialized in the center of the auction chamber, their royal garments reflecting the harsh artificial lighting. Despite their circumstances, both princes maintained the dignified bearing that had been instilled in them since birth, refusing to show fear or submission to their captors and the assembled criminals. The bidding began immediately, with crime bosses offering increasingly astronomical sums for ownership of the Zephyrian princesses. A reptilian arts dealer from the Outer Rim opened with an offer equivalent to the gross domestic product of a small planet, while a cybernetic enhancement specialist from the core worlds countered with promises of exclusive technology transfers. Kane smiled coldly as the bidding war intensified, each offer representing not just monetary gain but increased influence within the galactic criminal underworld. Possession of Zephyrian royalty would grant the winning bidder unprecedented status and potential access to alien technologies that could revolutionize illegal operations across multiple star systems. Princess Nova, the more rebellious of the twins, began testing the limits of the cyanic dampening field by attempting small mental exercises that gradually built her resistance to the suppression technology. A royal education had included warnings about human psychological manipulation techniques, and she recognized that their situation would only worsen if they remained passive victims. The infiltration team encountered their first serious obstacle when they triggered a motion sensor while navigating through the station's central hub. Alarms began sounding throughout the facility, and Kane's security forces immediately shifted to high alert status. Lieutenant Commander Martinez ordered her team to accelerate their timeline, knowing that surprise was their most valuable asset. Morrison realized that something was wrong when emergency lights began flashing throughout the auction chamber. Kane's security chief reported multiple contacts on the station's perimeter, suggesting that a rescue operation was already underway. The crime lord's expressions shifted from confident satisfaction to dangerous anger as he considered the implications of law enforcement interference. The main Zephyrian fleet launched their assault with devastating precision, targeting the station's defensive systems with exotic energy weapons that had never been seen in galactic conflicts. The criminal vessels surrounding the asteroid found themselves outmatched by technology centuries ahead of their stolen military equipment, creating panic among the auction attendees who had expected a secure transaction. Princess Lyra successfully established a weak telepathic connection with the approaching rescue forces. transmitting their exact location within the station and providing crucial intelligence about the number and positioning of their captors. This information allowed the infiltration team to adjust the approach and avoid several heavily guarded areas that would have resulted in prolonged firefights. Kane drew his personal weapon and pointed it directly at Princess Nova, recognizing that his only remaining leverage was the threat of killing the royal hostages before rescue forces could reach them. Morrison protested weakly, his original plan having spiraled completely beyond his control. But Crown Lord ignored his partner's objections and prepared to fight to the death rather than surrender. The auction chamber erupted into chaos as criminal attendees attempted to flee while Kane's security forces established defensive positions around the platform holding the princesses. Weapons fire echoed through the asteroid corridors as the infiltration team engaged hostile guards, their advanced equipment providing significant advantages in the confined spaces of the mining facility. Admirable Vex received confirmante that the rescue team had visual contact with the princesses and was preparing for final extraction. The main fleet intensified their bombardment of the station's outer defenses, systematically dismantling the criminal infrastructure while carefully avoiding any damage to the sections containing the royal hostages. Princess Nova managed to break free from one of her restraints just as Lieutenant Commander Martinez and her team breached the auction chamber through an explosive entry that caught Kane's forces completely off guard, setting the stage for the final confrontation that would determine the fate of the Zephyrian royal family. La explosión que abrió la cámara de subasta envió ondas de choque a través de toda la estación asteroidal, creando el caos perfecto que las fuerzas de rescate zefirianas necesitaban para ejecutar su operación final. La teniente comandante Sara Martínez y su equipo irrumpieron en la habitación con una precisión letal, sus trajes de combate avanzado proporcionándoles ventajas tácticas decisivas contra los criminales desorganizados. Vincent Kane mantuvo su arma apuntada hacia la princesa Nova mientras gritaba órdenes a sus guardias de seguridad, pero la confusión era demasiado intensa para una coordinación efectiva. Los asistentes a la subasta se dispersaron en todas las direcciones, algunos intentando escapar mientras otros sacaban sus propias armas para protegerse de lo que percibían como un ataque indiscriminado. Jake Morrison se encontró atrapado en el centro del conflicto, su plan original completamente destruido por las consecuencias imprevistas. El explorador humano había imaginado una transacción simple que le proporcionaría riqueza y reconocimiento, pero ahora enfrentaba la posibilidad de ser ejecutado por fuerzas zefirianas enfurecidas o asesinado por criminales que lo culpaban por atraer atención no deseada. La princesa Lyra logró liberarse completamente de sus restricciones psíquicas justo cuando las fuerzas de rescate establecieron contacto visual. Su entrenamiento real se activó instantáneamente y comenzó a utilizar sus habilidades telepáticas naturales para coordinar con los soldados zefirianos, proporcionándoles información en tiempo real sobre las posiciones enemigas y los movimientos de los criminales. El almirante Vex recibió confirmación de que ambas princesas estaban vivas y conscientes, lo que le permitió autorizar el uso de armas más agresivas contra las defensas de la estación. Las naves de guerra zefirianas intensificaron su bombardeo de los sistemas externos del asteroide, deshabilitando sistemáticamente las capacidades defensivas de los criminales sin comprometer la integridad estructural de las secciones que contenían a la familia. Kane se dio cuenta de que su posición era insostenible cuando sus comunicaciones con las naves de apoyo se cortaron abruptamente. Los buques criminales que habían llegado para la subasta estaban siendo destruidos o capturados por la flota zefiriana, eliminando cualquier posibilidad de escape o refuerzo. Su única opción restante era negociar usando las princesas como moneda de cambio. La princesa Nova aprovechó un momento de distracción cuando Kane giró su atención hacia los soldados infiltrados para ejecutar una maniobra de combate que había aprendido durante su entrenamiento militar real. Golpeó el brazo del criminal con precisión quirúrgica, desarmándolo y creando la oportunidad que las fuerzas de rescate necesitaban para neutralizar la amenaza inmediata. Morrison intentó rendirse cuando se dio cuenta de que la situación había escalado más allá de cualquier posibilidad de control, pero los criminales supervivientes lo consideraban responsable de la catástrofe que había destruido su operación lucrativa. Varios traficantes alienígenas comenzaron a perseguirlo por los corredores de la estación, buscando venganza por las pérdidas financieras y de personal que habían sufrido. El equipo de infiltración estableció un perímetro defensivo alrededor de las princesas mientras coordinaba con las fuerzas principales para una extracción segura. Los túneles y cámaras del asteroide se habían convertido en un laberinto de combates esporádicos entre criminales en retirada, soldados sefirianos y mercenarios independientes que intentaban escapar de la destrucción de la estación. La reina Silara monitoreaba personalmente cada desarrollo desde la nave insignia, su furia real transformándose gradualmente en alivio maternal al confirmar que sus nietas estaban relativamente ilesas. Sin embargo, las implicaciones políticas de este incidente requerirían respuestas diplomáticas cuidadosas para evitar tensiones internacionales con el gobierno terrestre y otras especies galácticas. Los sistemas de soporte vital de la estación asteroidal comenzaron a fallar bajo el bombardeo sostenido, creando urgencia adicional para completar la operación de rescate antes de que las condiciones ambientales se volvieran peligrosas para todas las formas de vida presentes. Las lecturas atmosféricas indicaban que tenían menos de una hora antes de que los niveles de oxígeno descendieran a niveles críticos. Cain fue finalmente capturado cuando intentaba alcanzar una cápsula de escape personal, ubicada en la sección más profunda de la estación. Los soldados sefirianos lo rodearon en un corredor estrecho donde sus modificaciones cibernéticas no pudieron proporcionarle ventajas tácticas suficientes para resistir la tecnología militar avanzada de sus perseguidores. La extracción de las princesas se ejecutó con precisión militar perfecta, utilizando transportadores de emergencia que las materializaron directamente en la nave médica especializada, que esperaba información con la flota principal. Los equipos médicos sefirianos comenzaron inmediatamente evaluaciones completas para determinar si habían sufrido daños físicos o psicológicos durante su cautiverio. Morrison fue encontrado escondido en una cámara de almacenamiento, traumatizado por los eventos que había desencadenado pero físicamente ileso. Su captura planteó preguntas complejas sobre jurisdicción legal, ya que había cometido crímenes contra ciudadanos sefirianos mientras operaba en territorio neutral bajo identidad humana. Las autoridades terrestres serían notificadas, pero el destino final del explorador dependería de negociaciones diplomáticas entre múltiples gobiernos galácticos. Los interrogatorios preliminares revelaron que Morrison había estado planeando esta operación durante meses, estudiando los movimientos de la familia real sefiriana y estableciendo contactos con organizaciones criminales que pagarían grandes sumas por acceso a especies alienígenas raras. Su motivación había sido una combinación de codicia personal y una creencia distorsionada de que estaba facilitando el intercambio cultural entre especies. La estación asteroidal fue completamente evacuada antes de que los sistemas críticos colapsaran completamente. Los criminales supervivientes fueron capturados o escaparon en pequeñas naves de emergencia, pero la organización de Vincent Kane había sido efectivamente destruida. La operación de rescate se consideró un éxito completo desde la perspectiva militar, aunque las ramificaciones políticas continuarían durante años. Princess Sarah embraced her daughters aboard the medical vessel with tears of relief streaming down her face, her worst fears having been replaced by overwhelming gratitude for their safe recovery. The royal twins had endured a traumatic experience that would require extensive psychological counseling, but their fundamental strength and resilience had carried them through the ordeal without permanent damage to their mental faculties. The medical teams conducted comprehensive examinations using advanced Zephirian scanning technology to detect any lingering effects from the human psionic dampening devices that Morrison had used to control the princesses. Initial results were encouraging, showing no permanente neurologia damage, though the sisters would need ongoing monitoring to ensure complete recovery from their exposure to alien mind control technology. Queen Xilara convened an emergency session of the Galactic Council to address the unprecedented nature of this incident and its implications for interspecies relations throughout the known galaxy. The successful kidnapping of royal family members by a human criminal represented a new level of threat that required coordinated international response protocols to prevent similar incidents in the future. The diplomatic fallout began immediately as human authorities on Earth expressed their profound embarrassment and concern over Morrison's actions, which threatened to undermine decades of careful relationship building between humanity and the Zephirian Empire. Ambassador Robert Hayes delivered a formal apology on behalf of the human government, accompanied by offers of significant compensation and enhanced security cooperation. Admiral Vex submitted detailed after-action reports that would influence military doctrine throughout the Zephyrian fleet for generations to come. The rescue operation had demonstrated both the effectiveness of advanced technology and the continued importance of skilled personnel in complex hostage situations. Several tactical innovations developed during the mission would be incorporated into standard training programs. The interrogative of Vincent Kane revealed the existence of a vast criminal network that specialized in trafficking rare alien individuals across multiple star systems. This intelligence prompted joint operations between Zephyrian security forces and law enforcement agencies from dozens of different worlds, leading to the largest coordinated crackdown on interstellar crime in galactic history. Morrison trial became a landmark case in interspecies jurisprudence, establishing new precedents for how crimes committed by citizens of one world against citizens of another would be prosecuted when they occurred in neutral territory. The complexity of the legal issues required the creation of special courts with judges representing multiple species and legal traditions. Princess Lyra and Nova gradually recovered from their ordeal through a combination of advanced medical treatment and traditional Zephyrian healing practices that emphasized mental and spiritual restoration. Their experience had matured them significantly, transforming them from sheltered royalty into individuals with deeper understanding of the dangers and complexities of the galactic community. The asteroid station where they had been held was thoroughly investigated by forensic teams who discovered evidence of numerous previous crimes committed by Kane's organization. The findings led to the identification and rescue of several other alien individuals who had been reported missing over the past decade, reuniting families across multiple star systems and providing closure to cases that had remained unsolved for years. The enhanced security protocols implemented throughout the Zephyrian Empire following the incident included advanced screening procedures for all foreign visitors, mandatory tracking devices for diplomatic personnel, and the establishment of rapid response teams specifically trained for hostage rescue operations in hostile environments. These measures significantly reduced the risk of similar incidents while maintaining the open diplomatic policies that had made Zephyria a hub of interstellar cooperation. Public reaction throughout the galaxy was overwhelmingly supportive of the Zephyrian royal family, with many worlds offering assistance and expressing solidarity with the victims of the criminal conspiracy. The incident had actually strengthened rather than weakened the political position of Queen Zilara, demonstrating the effectiveness of her military forces and the international respect commanded by her government. Morrison's eventual sentence included substantial prison time, mandatory psychological treatment, and permanent banishment from Zephyrian space. His case became a cautionary tale taught in diplomatic schools across the human colonies, illustrating the severe consequences of violating interspecies treaties and engaging in criminal activities that could destabilize galactic peace. The criminal auction that had been interrupted by the rescue operation was revealed to have been part of a much larger scheme involving the systematic exploitation of rare alien species for their unique biological and mental properties. The investigation exposed similar operations on dozens of worlds, leading to comprehensive reforms in how interstellar commerce was regulated and monitored. Years later, Princess Lyra and Nova would use their traumatic experience as motivation to become advocates for interspecies understanding and criminal justice reform, working to prevent other individuals from suffering similar fates. Their ordeal had transformed them from protected royalty into powerful voices for justice and security throughout the galactic community. The rescue operation ultimately strengthened rather than strained relations between humans and Zephyrians, as cooperation during the crisis demonstrated the mutual respect and shared values that formed the foundation of their diplomatic alliance. The incident became a template for how different species could work together to combat threats that transcended individual world boundaries. Queen Zilara's decisive response to the crisis enhanced her reputation as one of the galaxy's most effective leaders, showing that she would use any necessary means to protect her family and subjects while maintaining the moral authority that made Zephyria a respected member of the galactic community. The successful resolution of the crisis marked the beginning of a new era of enhanced security and strengthened international cooperation that would benefit countless worlds for generations to come.